Hi guys, it's Debbie. With Christmas just around the corner, if you're tired of the usual classics playing on every channel like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Home Alone, Elf, The Polar Express, and not in the mood for the typical tear-jerking rom-coms, you've probably already scrolled through all the alternative lists which include films like Harry Potter or Krampus, and don't get me started on the is Die Hard a Christmas movie debate. Well, here for you I have compiled a list of alternative Christmas films which promise a distinct viewing experience for the holidays. While some of these titles are probably very familiar to many cinema lovers, I've tried to veer away from the usual suspects like Shining, Eyes Wide Shut, Carol, Eternal Sunshine. I even had to bite my hands to not include Manchester by the Sea. So let's dive in. First up, we have Filth, which already from the title implies it's not all about cozy chats over cups of hot chocolate. James McAvoy stars as a tormented Scottish police officer who manoeuvres his way to a promotion through manipulating his friends, bullying everyone he meets, and playing his so-called twisted games. This all takes place around Christmas time, including a very cheerful office party, and as the plot moves on, the story unveils really unexpected plot twists, really dark undertones, which at some points are nearly horror-like.
So what's your plans then?
Just the usual family shite and all that.
Me too!
Next up, we have Sean Baker's Tangerine. Unlike the usual snowy settings and traditional families, Tangerine follows transgender sex workers navigating a sunny LA. The story kicks off on Christmas Eve when the fresh out of jail protagonist discovers her boyfriend has been cheating on her and sets off on a mission to find him, leading to encounters with various characters, unexpected adventures. Perfect for those tired of the usual sweater-clad love stories in snow-covered cafes.
This motherfucking commotion, this is what all that shit the Gram was about, this bullshit right here. Merry Christmas.
Next up, we have The Hunt, that addresses topics not usually associated with Christmas themes, but let's admit it, the reality out there isn't all candy cane and tinsel. In this case, it's child abuse allegations. As a matter of fact, Mads Mikkelsen portrays a kindergarten teacher who is accused of something awful by one of his students. As viewers, we're left to determine the truth while the town violently ostracizes him at a time of the year in which we would usually imagine a quaint Danish small town community getting happily together for the holidays. Next up on the list is Tokyo Godfathers by Satoshi Kon, one of my favorite directors and a man from whom Hollywood stole a lot, but that's a topic for another day. This film is a really touching tale set against Tokyo's backdrop during Christmas, and this unconventional narrative revolves around three homeless people, a troubled alcoholic, a runaway teenager, and a transgender woman who discover an abandoned baby in the trash and decide to take it under their wing, despite their own personal struggles, showing how love can transcend even the most unexpected circumstances. Aside from this list, I want to quickly mention another anime film which isn't your typical Christmas movie. To be honest, it isn't really a Christmas movie at all. However, nestled within this film is a specific scene set during Christmas which in my opinion stands as one of the most beautifully animated sequences ever. It's in 5 centimeters per second by Makoto Shinkai, known for masterpieces like Your Name, and 5 centimeters per second unravels a story of these two protagonists deeply connected, only for their lives to then be torn apart as one of them has to move on the other side of the country, and despite their efforts to maintain this bond, obviously time and distance thwart their attempts. The scene I mentioned earlier is a breathtaking portrayal of a long journey undertaken by one of the two protagonists. It's in the darkness, snow, cold dampness, the desolation of empty train cars, prolonged waits, and then the comforting warmth of finally arriving in a cozy room with a steaming hot meal. It has nothing really to do with Christmas. I'm not including it on the list. I just wanted to mention it as something interesting out there. Now let's move on to Lamb, an Icelandic film that completely split audiences and which offers a very interesting blend of horror, religious undertones, and emotional dramatic storytelling. While not specifically Christmas-centric, this film opens on Christmas Eve and it incorporates significant Christian references and horror folktales. The story follows a grieving couple who live on a rural Icelandic farm who at Christmas, while the radio wishes happy holidays and plays Christmas songs, witness a miraculous birth, part human and part sheep. The couple, mind you, the woman is called Maria, like Mary, embrace this hybrid as their own child, leading to a story filled with joy, horror, twists against the backdrop of this very unconventional family dynamic. Imagine having to introduce to your relatives and friends your new sheep daughter. Next on the list is Ben is Back, a film which didn't receive much attention despite it starring famous actors like Julia Roberts and Lucas Hedges, who, by the way, is one of my favourite new actors. I think maybe the reason for this could be that the same year, Timothée Chalamet, who is often compared to Lucas Hedges, starred in another film called Beautiful Boy, which has similar themes. Anyway, in Ben is Back, Hedges portrays a recovering drug addict spending the holidays under strict parental supervision, and explores themes of disappointment, family reconciliation, unconditional parental love, and it really proves how the happiest time of the year is sometimes the toughest for other people out there, and if you've witnessed situations like this firsthand, you'll get this film.
That's not funny.
It was a joke, Mom. Mom, it was a joke.
Excuse me. Can I get a key to this door, please? Unlock the door, Ben, right now.
Now, let's talk about Spencer. We have to. Although it's one of the most famous titles on today's list, I think it beautifully captures Christmas while telling a completely different story from usual. Directed by Pablo Larraín and starring Kristen Stewart as Lady Diana, the peculiarity of this film is that while most films or series depicting Diana cover a big chunk of her life, explaining her story right from the beginning until her early death, this film only covers one specific critical weekend over the Christmas holidays. Diana's frustration with the royal family, strained marriage, struggles with eating disorders, and the intrusive press spiral out of control, revealing the stark reality behind the glamorized facade of royal life.
You have to be able to make your body do things you hate.
Now let's move on to 2046 by Wong Kar-wai, one of my favorite directors of all time, and the mastermind behind beautiful films like Fallen Angels, Chungking Express, In the Mood for Love, Happy Together, Days of Being Wild. And in this film, 2046, again we have another intricate love story interwoven with recurring events on Christmas Eve. The protagonist is writing about a mysterious room and its inhabitants, but those stories reflect his own lives, his love stories, the women he meets, blurring the line between reality and fiction. Next up we have Little Women, Greta Gerwig's adaptation of Louisa May Alcott's famous novel, which I'm sure I read something like 20 years ago, but of which I can't remember much, so unfortunately I can't tell you how faithful this film is to the source material. While not solely centered on Christmas, a significant portion of the plot is set against the backdrop of the holidays, including the famous scene that then made it into the poster. This film is packed with the spirit of the holiday season, themes of family unity, the warmth of home, the shared joys of gathering for a hearty meal, all donating to those in need. In my opinion, this film captures more the spirit of Christmas than some of the more straightforward Christmas movies.
Merry Christmas, world.
And last but not least, let's talk about Boiling Point, one of the most nerve-wracking films I've seen in the last years. What makes this title remarkable is that it's a relentless single-shot movie set inside a bustling, upscale London restaurant during the chaotic lead up to Christmas. If you've ever worked in hospitality, retail, the food industry, you'll instantly connect with that immense pressure, especially during the holiday rush. The film immerses us in the life of the kitchen staff, waiters and cooks as they struggle with the typical kitchen chaos and the high expectations of their really posh guests. I think Boiling Point perfectly closes this list, as it's a reminder that often, especially during the holidays, we expect that effortless magic of Christmas and picture perfect experience without considering the efforts of the workers behind the scenes. But now I'd love to hear what you think about these titles, what you would have added to the list, what you enjoy watching during the holidays. Let me know everything with a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.